Jerry hints that Dak is not going to be signed before the season. Were Brew and I wrong, or more right than ever? Meanwhile, GOAT votes. A new player poll says Mahomes gaining on Brady. Does he have it?
Also,
What?
when we said there was a new GOAT topic in the show, in the meeting, Bruce said, "What's it about LeBron?"
Yeah.
It was a little,
we had been talking about LeBron. No. I love LeBron. He's second. He's second. We know who to go with.
And finally, prediction week rolls on. And we get an official update on yesterday's controversial ruling. It's going to be an official update. Alongside Chris Broussard, Kevin Wild.
You're going to make me mad.
Do you have any hints on the official ruling?
No, which means there is no official ruling because I was not privy to any discussions about it. I can't make them on my own, but I have to be in the room. For us to have a quorum, I have to be in the room.
I think you were represented. I represented the talent.
No, that's not how it
We had a
works.
producer segment, the on-air segment.
Brew, were you aware of an official
Andrew
meeting?
was there.
I have no idea
Exactly.
what you guys are talking about.
We start with overrated. It's Josh Allen. A player poll ran by ESPN. Josh Allen was voted as the most overrated player, just getting one more vote than Tua and Jalen Hurts, who were tied for second. Justin Herbert was.
Is that the Prince?
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's kind of like a low-key, it's not like compliment.
You think?
It's a compliment?
Well, I'm saying there's no bad players on that list. You understand what I mean? Like, it's being underrated is a low-key diss, where it's like, no, a lot of people don't think you're that good. This is, well, it's, these are all good quarterbacks.
No, there's one quarterback on there that Hubs constantly refers to as being mid.
Tua?
And he's
That's
overrated.
rude. Okay.
So he's,
Trevor?
yes.
Well, this segment's not about
He's
the
mid.
Prince.
Trevor.
And they're saying
Some
he's
people certainly
overrated.
No, I mean, I think 7 of those 8 votes are due to me. I think it's my fault.
Meanwhile, Josh reacted to his overrated
I do like
number
this.
one
I
by
like
saying,
this.
so you're telling me I was voted as the number one ... best trash talker? That's true too. He also won that award.
Yeah.
Let's go. And he put
I like
a
it.
I
GIF
did
or
too.
GIF, depending on
GIF.
or what you like, of Lil Yachty. So Josh Allen, most overrated. Fair or foul?
Well, he's an excellent player
True.
who's also overrated.
Wow.
So I don't know if I actually would not vote him the most overrated player in the league. But if you were to ask me, is Josh Allen underrated? No. Properly rated? Well, by some. Overrated? Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
And I would use the evidence of an argument we had a couple weeks ago. It was brief. It wasn't even the full topic, which is Brew just kind of flippantly saying, I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. That makes him overrated.
Yeah.
He's not a
I
Hall
think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
He is. He has, but those are the things that make him a touch overrated. And I think specifically, because I understand Brew's not saying if he retired today,
No.
he would make the Hall of Fame, but you think he's on the
I think
trajectory.
he's on the trajectory.
He's a dynamic player, a scary player, who is also, in my estimation, and I think the numbers back it up, overrated as a passer. And we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Jalen Hurts as a passer. I think he's better than Jalen as a passer. Lamar as a passer. I think he's better than Lamar as a passer. But we have no problem with other quarterbacks saying, great football player, would love to have him. Some holes in their game, though, as a passer. Josh has different holes than those guys, but as far as consistently delivering as a passer, I think he's a little overrated. Last year, Brew,
fair.
It was very boom or bust, and we can show it to you. Half his games, just again from the very kind of standard passer rating metric, excellent. Half his games left something to be desired. None of those mid games, Wilds, as you would like to say.
In the middle, though, it comes out as
A roller
right, and
coaster.
a roller coaster.
it's a roller coaster. And then since his breakout season in 2020, we can show you this as well. This is when it looked like 2020. Oh, he's on his way. That was year 3 to being an elite passer. Since then, it's been nothing close to it. And so, again, that is just the passer. That is not the
that's
rushing
the
stuff.
thing. And-
Right.
right.
And so I'm saying, but I think that most people believe Josh Allen, without the running, is a top 3 quarterback. That him, Burrow, and Mahomes.
About that. I'm not sure. You really think that?
Yeah, I think just as
take out the running,
that he's
and
still,
people would say he's top. I don't think so.
Okay, well, so that's my take. I just think I think his trajectory is a little overrated on the Hall of Fame front, and I think Josh Allen, the passer and decision maker, is a touch overrated. So that's where I stand.
For the people, and this is now obviously everybody knows Mahomes on another level than everybody. But over the past few years, there's been the debate, 1 and 1A. You know, Josh Allen's right there with Mahomes. Maybe he's even better. For those that say that, absolutely, he's overrated. But outside, and that's nobody's really saying, or very few are saying that
at this
now.
point, no.
So I don't think he's certainly not the most overrated player in the league. And I would throw this at you. And we have to, quarterbacking nowadays, especially because we got a 2-time MVP who's primarily a running quarterback, all right? It is not just about passing, all right? So I agree, he's not an ultra-elite passer if you just throw the football. But when you combine that with the running that he does, he's absolutely elite. And look at these numbers to show it over the last 5 years. He's number 1 in the league in touchdowns, number 2 in total yards to Mahomes, number 2 to Mahomes in regular season wins, and tied for second with Joe Burrow and Tom Brady for playoff wins.
Shout out, Brady.
Now, I get it. That's not Mahomes. He's not Mahomes, but that's better than everybody else, every other quarterback in the league. And regarding the touchdowns, we believe Mahomes is the greatest we've ever seen, or second if you're
what the heck is going on?
you're Kevin Wildes.
You think?
But
Okay, well,
yeah, I think he's the best. He's not the GOAT yet, but he's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
The distinction between the most talented playing at the highest level and the most accomplished.
He has to keep accomplishing to be the GOAT, but he's got 23 more TDs than a guy that might end up being the GOAT. And so I don't think he's overrated, the most overrated. I actually think it's Justin Herbert. Oh. And I like Justin Herbert a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think he's excellent. He's got obviously all the arm talent. I think he's mentally and physically tough too. Like he'll play through injuries and all that. But this is a guy that we talked about the athletics quarterback tiers. Mm-hmm. The last 3 years, he's been the 5th best quarterback in the league. He's got 1 playoff appearance in 4 years and no playoff win.
This morning, Danny on Breakfast Ball had him as the 3rd best quarterback in the league. There is a Justin Herbert hive out there that it really irks Wildes. It semi-irks me. So that's why I said.
Would you agree with me that he's the most? And I'm not saying he's not really good, and he might go to the stratosphere, but now he hasn't accomplished
I think Herbert has the most people who, in my opinion, wildly overstate how great he is. You know what I mean? Like I think that there is an element of that. I don't know that I think he's the most overrated.
Don't you think his star has fallen a little bit?
He's declined the last few seasons.
But not. I don't think he has in the eyes of the arm talent folks. Like, you know, my analysis is always a rich tapestry of all of it.
Of course, a lot of people are just arm talent.
Arm talent or just the box score. Can I play this is actually a Tom Brady sot, but it's him talking to Josh Allen.
I like that.
Wildes references this a number of times. He's tweeted about it. And this to me is indicative of what I think Josh needs to do to take, because he obviously has all the arm talent in the world, so how can he become a better passer? And the answer, oddly, is just listen to one of the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Here it is.
From my standpoint, Josh is right, and a lot of playing quarterback in the end is mitigating risk. And I think if there's an opportunity, like, for example, you could throw a ball into tight coverage and go, look, sometimes you just got to make throws into tight coverage. Or sometimes you can just throw the ball to a guy that may be a little bit more open and gain a few less yards. That's my point, is we have to sometimes make decisions in certain moments to check the ball down or to gain a few yards and move on.
And that's when we've talked about that divisional game against the Chiefs this year. That's some of the stuff I've talked about. Not that, like, his pass into the end zone was a terrible decision, but you had a guy cutting over the middle. Like, the not taking a profit at times, and when they were losing,
reckless.
the recklessness really hurt.
Yeah,
him.
can I show, Dusty, before we move on, can I show the percentage of Bill's scoring graphic?
Yeah.
He kind of didn't ignore Tom Brady's advice, but we were looking for reasons why Tom Brady's advice didn't really stick. And I assume it's because, like, man, I've got to do it. I've got to do it all. I'm responsible for 86% of my team's
It's also who he is as a player, and you have to be who you are. You can tweak it here and there, and he needs to, but he's not going to be able to be Tom Brady. They're completely different types.
But
of
also, Brady's advice would have been just as smart if is just as smart if the Bills had a running back they gave the ball to inside